So how you doing,
You
Spark? How's the couch feel since you picked it out? Guys, here you go, a little ShoreShow trivia.
Oh, yeah.
DarkSpark picked out this couch.
That's true. I did. Luis with the 100 biddies.
Woohoo! Are we gonna see a little Spark train?
I think
Hit the lights.
so. Far away. This is not. Janu doesn't punch in like I do. I'm at the same distance from my camera. Janu doesn't punch in like I do.
Get ready to go live. Have a great interview, DarkSpark. Great. We'll see you later, Cookie. Thank you so much. Looking like Luke Bryant, but thank you so much, Luis Keltran, for the bits there. Thank you so much for the hype wave, guys.
Crew, get the absolute wild hype wave going here.
All
Let's go,
hype wave.
House.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. We get one up here for my man Kel, who's the hype train sniper. And one for Luis. Look at all those hype wave emotes in the chat. Love the comic pillow throws and auxiliary chair. Yes.
Oh yeah.
The pillows are great.
That came from the creation of the Shore House, didn't it?
Sure, yeah, because this is how it happened, right? So after I created the Shore House has had many rooms, right? We've seen the balcony, we've seen the theater in the basement, we've seen the game room, we've even seen the kitchen. But when DarkSpark wanted to do the Shore House in Sims 4, he had a simple question for me. Well, where's the living room? Like, where does everybody sit? And there wasn't a living room. So we made a living room. DarkSpark picked out a couch. I said, as long as it's red, I'm happy. And this is what we got. It came out fantastic. Look at all those emotes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Level 1. Hype wave,
Level
everybody.
1, hype wave. Let's go. Surfing on a sound wave. Let's go, y'all.
Let's see it. So welcome to the Shore Show, DarkSpark. The Shore Show's your show. We take viewers like you, bring them into Jersey, put them on the big red comfy couch. It was not a far drive for you to make it over to the Shore House. And all DarkSpark could do was laugh. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about meetups tonight, Spark.
Yeah. Facts.
DarkSpark and I have known each other for years. Our lives and streaming careers and friendships and everything have been intertwined for so long. We've done so many different events together. This is why I was really looking forward to doing the Shore Show. This is a long time coming.
Absolutely. But I mean, because in a way it's full circle. It really is, because y'all, the first time I think Janu ever spoke to me in a DM on Discord was because I jumped on the Disney discussion from My Juice Talk, and that was when he asked if I would ever be interested in doing a My Juice Talk show, and I was like, I don't know about all that, but so eventually I did do it, and then now here I am. It's like there was a complete full circle moment of how stuff like this is how he and I actually started talking and became friends. So exactly.
And here you are. There's another little Shore Show trivia, guys. You want a little Shore Show trivia? Sparty will tell you. Sparty was there down in the chat. I ripped the whole thing off from a guy I used to mod for. So I used to mod for a guy, My Juice Box. He was an excellent streamer. We had a great time with it. But he did a segment called My Juice Talks where he interviewed viewers. And it's still on. We all did Juice Talks. And it's still all on YouTube. And I still go back and watch those. Inspired by. Thank you. Thank you, Lo-Fi. Our imagination and inspiration.
Good times. Good times.
Good times for sure. So, Spark.
Yes, sir.
All the Shore Show guests, they get the same first question. Okay. So I'm going to lay it on you. I want to know, when did you start playing games? And when did you become DarkSpark?
Started playing games. I played games as pretty much early as I could.
Far back as you remember. Was your
I
first
can't- I was
first
never
console?
good. I had them all. Well, as by now, most people that don't know, my grandmother was a huge gamer. So, and her sister was a huge gamer, and then Grammy Sparks' brother-in-law was a huge gamer. So you see like that, and Grammy Sparks' brother. So yeah, all three of Grammy Spark and her two siblings, her brother and her sister, were all gamers. And then Grammy Spark's sister married a guy who also was a gamer. So we had a very deep root of gaming in the family. So I remember growing up having a Nintendo Entertainment System, and I think we had a Super Nintendo very early in my life. Then I have a clip that was on my channel a lot where Grammy Spark, we gave her a Sega Genesis for Christmas one year.
The Sega Genesis.
The Disney game Aladdin. So, it's been there as far as I can remember. I played it, but I very quickly was deferring it to other people. So, as far as like if that question is when did I start playing it and not doing it trying just to fit in, but doing it because I felt comfortable with it, that would probably be when I was about maybe Nintendo 64 era. So I was about 7.
That was a big
8.
one for all of us. I've often said the Nintendo 64 was my favorite console ever, and it played a pivotal role in a lot of our lives growing up. That console was just insane. Now after that, there's a little bit of divergence. Like I kind of went the Xbox route. A lot of people went PlayStation route. Everybody kind of branched off after that. Were you an Xbox or a PlayStation?
I had both because Papa Spark was very into Xbox when it first came out. So he got me an Xbox the year it came out for Christmas, but it was really for both of us. Like
Nice.
that he got it, but because originally the one I really wanted was a PlayStation 2 when it first dropped.
Yeah, PlayStation 2 is huge.
Yeah, and he pulled that one off, and so we played that together for a while, and then the next year, though, when the Xbox came out, like I was like, it would be cool to have it, but he was just like, and so that was the game. That was where we switched over, and we gamed more together on that than we did on the PlayStation. So I moved the PlayStation to my room, and my PlayStation 2 became my personal console.
Nice.
So the family console was basically the Xbox, and it stayed that way for a while. So the Spark family console that was in the living room, it was an Xbox and an Xbox 360. Because then once the Kinect came out, you lost Mama Spark when she saw. I showed her the Kinect E3 conference. She was done because she was like the Dance Central. She's like, say less. Say less. When does it come out? And I was like, okay then.
Right. Everybody else's mom is playing Wii Tennis, right? And she wants Kinect for Dance Dance Revolution.
For Dance Central, right? Exactly. And we have all 3 Dance Centrals. Yeah. So absolutely, it was. No, Lo-Fi said, I love that Grammy Spark who introduced you to. How many people our age can say that their grandparents got us into gaming? I have a funny story about that, Lo-Fi. Where I went in to buy Dark Souls 3 for myself, my now ex, my ex at the time, and then and my grandmother. And I went and asked for 3 copies, and the guy was like, well, I said one's for me, one's for her, and then one's for my grandmother. And then he's like, your grandmother? He's like, I want a grandmother that plays Dark Souls, and I'm like, yeah, my grandmother's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So
be careful, she'll kick your butt.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, that was my great grandmother. My great grandmother was the one had the hands you had to watch out for.
Uh-oh.
I still have the knot in the back of my head for thinking it was. I could tell her. It's the style to wear your hat backwards. Then I ended up looking up at the skyline of Philadelphia, wondering how I got on the sidewalk. Because she clocked me right in the back of the head really good, let me tell you. And I said, okay. Why do you think? That's why I wear my hats forward all the time.
So you don't get
Anna
clocked.
Spark did not play, okay? Like, all she had to say was turn that hat around. But it's the style. Next thing I know, how did I get on the ground? I'm just saying.
Now, the other part of it is DarkSpark. Tell me, hear the origin story this way, right? We got the one origin story, and I love how it is tied to your family. You know, you have a wonderful family, really, really close to them all. And that's something I really admire you about, that wonderful relationship that you have with your family. But the second part of this is the DarkSpark. When did you start using DarkSpark?
Yeah, and then she said these hands were rated. That's exactly what she. So Nana was the gamer in that way. These hands were rated E for everyone. Catch them like COVID. Like at this point, like goodness gracious. Because I think
when you watch the VOD,
hit.
make that a command.
Yes, yeah, seriously. As far as when I started being DarkSpark, I had a whole lot of different handles. Basically, originally when I was younger, I tried to theme. I had one major handle that was based around my karate thing. That it was Mama Spark came up with it. Actually, my first ever name was a reference to Famous Jet Jackson from Disney Channel. For those of y'all OGs that remember that show on Disney Channel. But the main name I used, like that was my Xbox name, etc., was one that referenced my dojo, the same one that Jason David Frank taught me at. So I had that as my username for a while, but I didn't like that. It didn't feel like indicative of me because like I stopped going. I didn't, I wasn't in karate anymore as I got older. And I had all these different names that were themed to like what I was doing. So like if I was at a theme park forum, I had a specific name for that theme park forum. I had a specific name for if I went to a show that I liked for him. Like I was all over the place.
You were like lo-fi. You had like 20 names.
Exactly. Yeah, I had like I was on the Harry Potter forum. I think I was on MuggleNet. I had like I was like Dementor Dude 22 or something, and like so like I always had a different name, but I was like I wanted a name that was just universal, that was gonna be me, for going forward. And I was watching the Boondocks of all shows late one night. And I was listening to the lyrics, and there was the lyric that stuck out in the rap of the opening of the Boondocks is, "I'm the spark that makes your idea bright, the same spark that lights the dark, so that you can know your left from your right." And that stuck with me and was like my favorite bar in that whole song.
Right.
So when I joined a Boondocks forum, funny enough, I was like, I need a name that fits that, and I went, well, the song really hits me. What is it? And I just kept playing around with it, and my brain just said DarkSpark.
There you go.
And I was like, because that to me meant it's the spark, and people would ask me what it meant, and I was like, it means the spark inside you. Because sometimes I noticed every time I created something, I was hurt, I was in pain, I was angry, but that was why that's what gave me the power to create. So I realized that was it. I was like, it's the darkness that you take in illuminates your ability to create. And so I was like, that's what DarkSpark has always meant. And that's why I said, that's mine. That's mine.
That's great. And, we do these name origin stories with everybody. Sometimes they're really great and interesting stories. But for a Boondocks forum is probably one of the top answers, right? Boondocks are amazing. Totally agreed, Dunk. One of the best shows ever.
Amazing.
And it's just so fitting that's where that name's origin story starts.
Yep. Because I loved Huey. Huey felt so much like me, to be a young black man trying to be intelligent while you have people around you like Riley who are falling into the stereotypical what they see of us standpoint. And I just was like, yep, that vibes with me. So then the fact that I was like, I need something like that, it was just like,
Gems says, don't let him off
no,
the hook.
there it is.
Hit
there
him
it
with
is.
the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, Dunk, you didn't watch behind your ears or nothing.
Right.
Nah,
What's up,
bro,
Homo?
you didn't watch behind your ears or nothing. Classic.
No, that's great. Now, earlier on, you mentioned Philly. I said you didn't have far to travel to get in the to get here for the ShoreShow. You've actually been in this studio itself. Have you grown up in the area? Have you lived in the area your whole life?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. The whole family's always been around here as long back as Hey, Die Maker!
Maker!
What's up, buddy?
Let's see that boat
Appreciate
horn, everybody. What's up,
Now I
Die
can actually
Maker?
do
Thank
the-
you so much.
I can actually do the emote now.
The emo?
Where's my Die Maker emote? There it is.
I love that emote.
It's a fantastic emote.
I could put it on the horn. Love the horn. That was one of the emotes that I put on the Shornaments. My Shore House Christmas
Nice.
ornaments. Yes,
Nice.
the Die Maker emote definitely made it on that. The Mom
That's
Juice.
so good.
The Mom Juice Shornament looks really cute.
Oh, yeah. There's just so many good ones that are just.
And then
At
Die
this
Maker
point, they're
gets a
iconic.
leaf. Everybody gets a leaf. They donated to Shore House this month. That's how we're decorating the Shore House. So thank you so much
Oh,
for that gifted sub.
I can beat up the beat for real now in the chat. Now, thank the maker.
Yes!
I've been missing the demand emote. That's the real one.
That's the real one.
Gosh, man, because every time I see it, I'm just like, oh, I need my demand emote back.
Need my demand emote.
That's how I know I have my sub is run out for the Shore House. I'm like, where's my demand emote? And if I do demand in my search for the emotes and it doesn't pop up, I'm like, uh-oh, I need to resub.
It's still my most popular emote. Thank you,
I mean,
Die
it's
Maker.
amazing.
So you grew up in the area, lived here your whole life. Growing up close to your family. You went to film school, Spark?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did. Did you do that right out of high school?
Yeah, and then I was there, and then I took a bit off because I originally didn't jump right into high school. I finished out my last year at Six Flags,
Okay.
and then I looked around to see what was available around here. Because the sad reality is that like the dream school was USC, and that was always a dream, gonna just be a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was also debating trying to go to Full Sail because that was back when they weren't known. They weren't as well known as they are now.
Okay, so it was like the
So-
indie choice?
Yeah, it was more of like because they were their big selling point was they were giving you hands-on education, which is far more valuable than to sitting in a classroom. So
He didn't
especially for
direct
something
that,
film.
Hummel. He was just an extra.
Yeah, right. Short of it is such a good branding name. See, because that's Janu though. That's Janu. He's the branding guy of the shore.
Oh, I'm the branding guy, right? So what I do is I slap the word shore in front of everything. Just like a guy who we used to know used to do the same thing. It's not even an original idea, but I'm glad you guys like it. I thought Shornament was cute. For sure, D-Crew.
There it is. For sure.
But yeah, film school.
Yeah, I took a little bit of time. I had to figure out exactly where I wanted to go, and then, I had to. Ironically, I picked the school I went back to the school that I originally picked to get started to finish out my program there, because of the fact that people were telling me essentially they were questioning my worth. Ironically, how that was like the fact that they were like, well, my first ex's family was kind of like, well, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. So I was like, all right, bet. It's like I'm very much the person where it's like you tell me I'm not like good enough or I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna make you regret ever doubting me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've gotten
Take
that
it as a
chip on
challenge.
my shoulder thanks to Bruno. I've got that chip on my shoulder thanks to Bruno where I'm just like I'm gonna prove to you that you're wrong and I'm gonna make you eat all the crow. And I'm gonna serve it fresh out the kitchen, and I'm gonna film it and make sure you know so you remember. No, you're not. No. So
I'm gonna make it into a TikTok, and then I'm gonna tag you in the TikTok.
And I'm gonna make the money off of the TikTok, and then I'm gonna be like double bet,
Put some dirt in your eye. There you go. DarkSpark is
right?
awesome at being awesome. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Thank you, Nathan. Like, it's just, and so that was funny because that's how it kind of got me to the point where I'm like, tell me, you tell me that you can't do that, or you're not gonna do that. All right, bet.
There you
There's
did.
certain things I know. I feel very confident knowing my own limits, right? I feel very confident knowing that like there's some things I'm not as good at or I need to improve on, but I've always also been a person where if I find it's a weakness or I feel like I could do better at it, like in film,
Right.
I was never very good with audio. So what did I do? When I had my audio classes, I was always asking questions of the professor. I was always saying, hey, but this is the idea that I have in my head. How do I go about doing this? Even though it has nothing to do with the project, it's like, but I want to try this. And one of my professors was like, I love that you are willing to ask the questions and you see things in movies that you notice and then you're like, I want to do this. I don't know how. Can you show me?
Right.
And that's where I'm like, because that's what we're here for. If we knew all the answers, we wouldn't be in school.
I know, and sometimes it's so hard for creative types because you have this vision in your head. And I know me and you have had this conversation where I'll say, it's all in my head, it's all in my head. I just can't get it out of my head and onto the computer. And that's where the real learning, that's where the real work comes in. So you wound up finishing where you started, and then you proved them all wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny, it was also this party. I would stream for 48 hours, but again, I'm not streaming it for free. See, again, I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again on the ShoreShow, so it's on record.
Right.
Someone said, I think Strong said it. She said something about the subathon, and I said, y'all asking for subathon content, but do you have subathon money? If you got subathon money, we could cook. We could cook for these streams.
Right.
But, like, I'm just saying. So, like, in the words of the Joker, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So, I'm just like, hey, Lo-Fi's like, fast, let them know.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
We're up here working. Don't forget to tip your bartenders and your waitresses.
We creatives, man. Look, we out of a strike, okay? Like,
congratulations, the strike's over.
Thank you. Goodness gracious. Now everything goes back to normal, except it's not, and it's weird, and it's like, oh boy, here we go. It's happening.
It's happening again.
Yeah, so.
But at least it's happening.
Yeah, it is, and that's they finally got a clue. I was actually making a joke earlier. I believe that's why Netflix let Stranger Things come back to Dead by Daylight and Fortnite. Because I was like, I bet they were sitting there like, uh-oh. This strike has gone on longer than we anticipated. We're losing out on some of this stuff. What do we do? Hey, how can we make more money?
Alternative revenue streams.
Remember that content we pulled from those games that everyone said, why did you do that? Let's just have them pull that back in. Problem?
And now it's post-COVID prices. Get ready.
Yeah, right, exactly. Inflation.
Inflation is real.
It costs $2 more per V-Buck bundle. It's like, oh, wait a second. Hold on.
Finally get to Knights of the Seven Kingdoms run. Yeah, I heard there's a Jon Snow show. Did I hear that right?
I think so. I don't know with this, but at this point now, because they could bring the writers back, but until recently, that they didn't have a tentative deal with the actors, nothing of it mattered. They could write whatever they wanted, but then it was all still in limbo and stuck. So like they couldn't move. You know what I mean? So
Sir Duncan the Tall. I remember that.
Yes.
Everything except the end of the book.
Right. Yeah, George, I'm very much at this point where George R.R. Martin's best thing is he makes me as a writer feel better. Because I'm like looking at the fact that I've been working on a manuscript for 3 years. And I have 2 manuscripts for 3 years, and I'm like, man, I feel like it took me way too long to do this. And then I look at the fact that George R.R. Martin somewhere in like, I don't know, the time he's taken to write the next book is probably somewhere close to being like legal to drive and drink. Right. So, I mean, I think I'm okay. I think 3 years, it's all right.
I know, I've been editing a YouTube video for 2 weeks now, and I keep saying definitely by Saturday. But maybe. It's worth the wait.
Yeah, well, funny enough, that's how the short... I think the best thing about the short was that I told people that it was going to happen. on the 27th.
Mhm.
And when I did that, there was a drive in me. Well, one, there was a drive in me naturally, thanks to y'all, that helped me just get it. But there was an extra drive, I think, to know that I couldn't bump this off because the game got pushed back to the 27th. That to me was the symbol. 27 is a very big number for me personally. It constantly circles around me. And so the fact that it was there, I knew pushing it wouldn't work. It had to be on that day. And then I really backed myself into a corner when I told Baby Dragon, aka Pink Ranger Gamer, that I was like, I'm doing this on the 27th. And she was like, oh, I'm down to do the group thing. So
Right.
now I'm really under pressure of, oh snap, if I don't do this, then this is going to be a problem for multiple threads. So I'm like, you gotta get it done. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how, you just... Because usually I'm the same way, John. I'm like, I'll get it around to it.
Mhm.
I'll get around to it.
We'll get there.
I'll get around. Yeah, exactly. So...
And we did get back there eventually. We started out, we met on a stream. That's where we met. Because when I got started, I was modding at Cozy's and I was modding at Juice's. Now, where did you wind up first? What was your entry into the community per se?
Cozy. Yeah, because I tell this story a couple times, but I was playing DSA when it first dropped, because that was right around time, because it dropped like 2 weeks after the lockdown started for COVID.
Yeah.
I remember that and the reason I picked it up over my Disney Heroes battle mode that I've been playing for, at that point, 2 years, was the fact they had the Onward characters.
Okay.
And I really wanted to see Onward, and I couldn't because the theater shut down. And right before I got to, so I was playing with them, and I was like, I just enjoyed the character, the combat of the game, or the fact that it wasn't passive. Disney Heroes Battle Mode, if anyone's played it, that it's very passive. You just kind of pick your team and you watch as they get slashed together like two kids playing with Transformers. So with Disney Sorcerer's Arena, you had strategy. You had to pick what target you hit first, which debuffs you spread. It was very much a strategic game in that way. And I played it casually, but when Beauty and the Beast came out in November of 2020, I'm like, I need to figure out how to get my boy Beast as quickly as possible by playing free to play.
Right.
And I watched a lot of videos. Like, I watched at least three videos that said it. They all basically said, just farm one character to 7-star, then move to the next one. I'm like, there's no way I can get Beast quickly. I just wanted him unlocked. I didn't need him 7-star. I just wanted him unlocked. I'm like, there's no way I could do that quickly. It would take me 4 or 5 cycles. It'll be 2022 by the time I freaking get him. And I'm like, no. So then I found Cozy's video, who just said, you focus your farming for the day on whoever the bonus tokens are. And because of that tip, on first pass, I was this close to getting Beast unlocked first round as a free-to-play. And at that point, I said, okay, what else does this guy do?
Right.
Does that work? And I found the Twitch channel. And the second I jump into that Twitch channel, he's going off on his hype train stuff, screaming and hitting the air horns. And I'm like, and see, this is why I don't go on Twitch or watch content creators or streamers. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not for me. I'm literally hovering over the close tab button. And this name, out of all the colors that are running through the chat, this pink streak comes through, and it says Pink Ranger Gamer. And it's with a mod sword. And I went, timeout. Like, my MMPR Pink Ranger or like Time Force Pink Ranger? And literally before I even asked that in the chat, someone else said, what Pink Ranger is your favorite? And she goes, oh, MMPR for sure. And I went, maybe I can stick around here a little bit, because I've never in my life seen an adult person that was like Power Rangers fandom. Mad respect. Because I'm like, what? I was always the kid like, yeah, I watch Power Rangers. I don't announce this because everyone's going to be like, really? That's a kid show. I'm like,
oh, there it was in bright pink.
It was right there. And I was like, okay then.
But yeah, no, I mean, not only was is Cozy a great content creator, but that mod team for that Twitch stream was something special. I had a privilege of being part of it, but so many people that I met there, from Danny and Ludgate and Doodlesport, Crushed Oil was there,
Yup.
Pink Ranger Gamer, actually Mackie, Shooty, so many great names. So many Nate Rain.
Yep.
Same Dr. Hunter and Luis. I had a Twitch just for in-game drops from Amazon, but never watched until Strong got us into the club. And then
wow.
you were also there early for the Juicebox streams.
Yes.
And that was really
happened. Go ahead.
That was really interesting because with Juice, I was a mod for Juice as well as I was a mod for Cozy. On Juice, it was a smaller community, so I could really get to know people better. And it was a lot about bringing the viewers into the stream. And we had 2 different shows that we did for that. The one was the My Juice Talks, which was the interview show. That was pretty similar to what we do now at the ShoreShow. And the other part of it was Disney Discussion. And that was kind of your jam. Tell us about Disney Discussion.
Yeah. So, Disney Discussion actually was because for a while there, a funny thing is, even Dunk said we all said hi. I think someone gifted me a sub because that's just how it was. And that's when I was like, I can keep coming in.
Probably Die Maker, but
probably, honestly, let's be real. I legitimately don't remember, and I wish I did. Oh, with the Dino Thunder. Oh my god. But it was I was watching Cozy, and I was a frequent chatter, but a lot of times people weren't really saying anything. Like I joined the Patreon. I did the whole 9 of just wanting to support the way I do it, which is if I see someone that's good at creating good content, I want to support them because I know that struggle. So I'm like, okay, I did all the things, but I still didn't feel. I just kept talking, even though it didn't feel like anybody was really listening or paying attention to what I was saying. And then Boba Life, I mentioned D23 Expo, and Boba Life said, "Hold up, what? D23 Expo? Dude, I was there too, the 2019." I was like, hold up, really? And so he and I started talking. We started talking on Discord, and he's the one that told me, we started talking Disney movies, and I'm giving him my usual deep dive filmmaker perspective of like how Beauty and the Beast has a theme about mirrors, and how the mirror is so important to the main arc of the story because a mirror can only show a lie. If a mirror has a lie cast into it, it can only reflect a lie back. So, but Beast's mirror shows the truth, and he never once asked the mirror to show him his true self. He only believes the lie that's thrown into it when he looks into it as the Beast and thinks that's the truth. Which is ironic because Gaston looks into a normal mirror and sees himself as a Star-Spangled Awesome and thinks nothing of it. The whole concept, and Boba's freaking out. He's like, dude, this is so good. Why are you, like, you need to do this thing that this other guy does. He's doing a thing called Disney Discussion, where he talks about Disney movies, and I think you need to be on that because you're blowing my mind with this stuff. And I'm like...
And Boba Life, for you guys who don't remember Boba Life had a master's level thesis on the Pixar universe theory. Remember this one? It was literally a master's level thesis on a unified Pixar theory.
Yes.
And I read it a couple of times. And it was so legit. Boba Life was great. Boba Life did his Juice Talk from Disneyland.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that. That was awesome. Yeah, he and I miss Boba too, Crush.
I see Boba on Instagram.
Yep, he is. I do still follow him. He's doing great. But I tell you, I had a moment where I had a moment of like truth, where I initially messaged Juice and said, "Hey, Boba sent me over here, blah blah blah." And usually I'm that person where if I message once and then I'm like, if you don't get back to me or whatever, I don't push because I don't want to be that person that's annoying. But something.
Don't be a Janu.
Right. Well, not even a Janu, but like don't be a jagweed.
Right.
Because like there's nothing worse than someone that constantly doesn't give you breathing space
Mm-hmm.
to actually, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think, Johnny, you have the right, I had to channel you, actually, because you have the right amount of poke, where you're like, poke, and then you back up, and you poke again. You're not, like, in someone's thing 5 times spamming them, hey, 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 are you there? Are you there? And it's like, bro, what
I
are
do
you
like the
doing?
poke, though.
Yeah, you do, but you do it at a great time when you poke and then you sit back.
That's
and
how
you
I got
wait.
all those Juice Talk guests. The same
Exactly.
way. Once again, anybody
So-
want to be on the Shore Show next week? Send me a message.
Poke, see? Poke. So what happened was, I saw Juice a couple times. I watched his stream. I started tuning into him and getting his, like, schedule down, and because they hadn't even started it. This was him working the preliminary, because this is January of 2021, so they're working on getting it going. And I was like, okay, sure. But the one I was like, okay, I have nothing really to say on Snow White. But since they hadn't started, I was like, I want to say something on Pinocchio. I've always believed.
Archer's amazing, though, Dunk.
Pinocchio is amazing, and just Bob's Burgers is Sir Archer. Just watch Archer. I mean,
Archer's
he's
amazing.
not wrong. But I've always said that Pinocchio is so underrated. Ever since I've watched it again from a filmmaker perspective, I was like, Pinocchio's a master class storytelling, and it dunks on the concept of toxic masculinity in the 1940s. You have to understand how important that is.
Right.
From the standpoint that toxic masculinity literally was running rampant in that era. So
Right. It
for
was hugely popular. Right.
Right. That's like the peak of its time. And so to say this is not how you're supposed to behave to young people.
How many Disney
amazing.
discussions did you wind up doing, Spark?
All of them with after the second one. So I don't believe I missed a single one. It was that, as sad as it gets me, it'll get me a little choked up, but there was a point when I realized Disney discussion was it gave me a purpose, in the sense that every week I had something to do. I was in a rough spot, and I was just like, again, I was trying to find what the heck I'm supposed to do after I stepped back from this ledge, and I'm like, what do I do now? And that gave me the purpose that each week, watch a movie, write your notes down, come to the table with things that they were impressed by, because my Pinocchio takes, Juice messaged me after saying, dude, that's exactly what we want in the show. Will you be willing to be a regular?
And then we're like,
yeah.
Crush, we need you to defend the hunter that shot Bambi's mom. Go.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. And then, but see, that's the thing. Crush, then that's how I met Crush, like, properly. Because otherwise, I saw Crush around in the communities. But the first time I ever got to talk to her was Disney discussion, and that's when it kept in the back of my head when Crush planted the seed, when she said, I want to do Sleeping Beauties. And I was like, okay. And then Juice was like, well, he told me, he was like, well, I want you to know, you're also I consider you a producer. So if there's an episode you want to produce, tell me what it is, go nuts, I got you. Just let me know.
That was Juice.
So
he would just let you do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, he really was. He was a very collaborative person in that way. And so I was like, okay. And then I was like, I fell in love with Sleeping Beauty, having rewatched it when it was on Disney Channel, like 2019. And I was like, this movie is a masterpiece. And so I was like, okay, well, I want Sleeping Beauty. Crush has already said she wanted to do it. And then and again, full circle, on a ladies' night on Cozy's, Pink said, my favorite Sleeping Beauty. And I was like, to me, at that point, Pink is like a massive piece of this community. She's the head mod of the big person that everyone kind of congregates to. So I'm thinking, why not just shoot that shot and see if we can get Pink on for the discussion? And we do. And then suddenly this Disney discussion becomes 6 people, or 8 people talking about Sleeping Beauty. That's the biggest one I think that we did in that whole run. Everyone kept saying that was like the best Disney discussion. And all I thought was, I just wanted people that gave us different opinions instead of us 3 talking the same talking points. Talking the same talking points over and over again.
Because Juice was great. He would get his fiance to come on. He'd get his brother to come on. you know, and stuff like that. And then after a while, we just kind of took over it, and we're like, nah, we're cool, Juice. Just hold the microphone.
Yup. And yeah, exactly. And Eel said it right. Dark was the Yvette Nicole Brown from Talking Dead. I absolutely was. And people would get intimidated because they would be like, well, I don't take notes like Dark. And I'm like, don't take it from me. I'm a weird film person. I'm taking notes because there's things I would like to address. We just need you to come on and be like, we had a couple people come on. I just really like the movie. I like what they did here. That's fine. We just wanted more people to feel like their opinion on something or what they see in a movie was valid.
Yeah.
You didn't have to be on our level. That was us. Like, that was us being weirds. Like, we wanted people that could think about it and say, because a lot of times they brought things that, well, I also liked how this happened. And all of us went, we never noticed that. And that was the point. Like, the point was, it was, film can have that power. Storytelling has that power to make
I had notes season one of True Detective, the Matthew McConaughey one. I had the whole thing and the Chihulu and the meaning of things, and we were looking up all kinds of stuff. Nuts, but I love when you get into a show like that. Dark, would you consider doing one for the new Disney movie this month?
For Wish? Crush? Absolutely, I would.
We could do it anywhere.
Absolutely, I would.
We could do it anywhere.
Exactly. Now that Lighthouse 2.0 exists, we can do it. We can do it. We could literally. We've upgraded ourselves in the streaming tree to be able to literally have that wherever we want.
And that's the thing. So, like, take it too. We started out in Crush and Juices, and like I said, I was a mod for both Pink Ranger Gamer. Crush was with us, and you, of course, DarkSpark. And they gave us the keys to the car. That's what I said in my Juice Talks. Juice gave us the keys to the car. Cozy exposed us to so many wonderful ideas and all these amazing people. And then we took with it and ran, and then we got streams of our own. Not just you, not just myself, but Pink Ranger Gamer, everybody else, to now this wonderful streaming tree that we call it, where I look down and I see all the wonderful, amazing streams that we get to enjoy. Now it's us. So now, like, one of my famous lines is this community is a gift. And we are the caretakers now. It is up to us to cherish it and make it grow. Water the tree is one of your favorite sayings. You get the streaming tree hat on. And you've always been supportive of taking care of everybody. Now that we're in the position, we're streamers, and there's new streamers who are coming up. Some of them, like Liege and Cookie and Johnny, who have just started. Johnny's still working on affiliate, guys. Let's give Johnny a shout out. Johnny's like 8 followers. How many followers away are you, Johnny? Let's make Johnny an affiliate right here at the ShoreShow. So how was that jump? To being able to do it on other streams, to then have the keys to your own car. Now you have your own car. And not only do you have your own stream, but you have this army of support around you.
Yeah, well, as far as I said, wouldn't it be 3.0? What do you mean, the Lighthouse 3.0? No, because the Lighthouse is mine. Lighthouse is mine, and that's not, and that's the one time I had. Sometimes you do have to be selfish sometimes.
Yes.
I am very, that's mine, and that the same way that Shore House is Janu's, it's the same way that Dunk Tank is Dunk's. Like, we can be inspired by people, but we are our own. These are our spaces, and so for the Lighthouse, funny enough, I was just streaming because after I met everyone at CozyCon, or the Disney World trip 2 years ago, and then right after that I met Janu and AV, so I covered it, and suddenly, at Dave, we all had a Dave and Buster's moment, and suddenly, within that moment, it wasn't just people's names on a screen,
right?
And it was like I had a moment at the end of the meetup at Disney World where I had to say something. And I will never forget this because it's Major Whiskey and Chillin'. I've said it before. There's two amazing people where I said my sign off, which is you are never alone. I want y'all to know what you've done is that you showed me you are never alone and you will always be found. And then literally the next day, I'm in Animal Kingdom by myself. And I'm eating popcorn after riding Flight of Passage, the Avatar ride, and I'm like, I don't know. Should I go home? I'm like, should I go back to my hotel? Should I, keep wandering on the park? I have nothing else to do. It's like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. And chilling like a villain walks up and goes, what kind of popcorn you eating? And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, dude, we're all over here. We have a group of us over here, waiting for the rest of the group to get off Navi River journey. Like, come hang with us. And I tell Major this, and Major covers her mouth, has tears in her eyes, and she says, oh my gosh, Dark, you really were found. And I went, my feels.
Right.
My feels. And suddenly, because she was right, and it's like, and that's why I always say, when you hear Chillin's story, I realized that he and I had a very similar situation of looking over the edge of life and thinking it's not that far down, but finding a way to step back from it. I say to him all the time, it had to be you that found me. It had to be you that found me on that day, because it makes too much sense. If it was, it just makes too much sense. And so after that, I just thought I felt comfortable streaming because I wasn't streaming to a bunch of names.
Right.
I was streaming to what I believed was friends. And the first stream I did, I know Janu, you were there. I know D-Crew was there. D-Crew popped in and said, oh, wait, you're streaming? I was playing Aladdin. And I was just doing it to be able to spend more time with my friends. Because at that point, Cozy's schedule was starting to get a little erratic. And watching the subathon helped. Watching his subathon made me realize how much I care about seeing and spending time with all y'all. So I was like, heck it. And I just did it. So I did a whole month on May of Star Wars streams, where Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, I was streaming. I think even Tuesdays and Thursdays sometimes, I was streaming a different Star Wars game throughout the whole month of May, my first month. And people were like, oh, it seems like you're streaming every day. I'm like, I just want to not play games alone.
Yeah.
That's it. That was really it. I didn't want to be by myself. I didn't want to play games by myself. And so I was like, I'll put this up. And, full circle again. Pink was the first person that rated me. Ever. That I ever got a rate of. And it's like, and so, because I was hanging in her stream a lot, just because I was like, she was actually the first person from the community I met when Cliff and I went to Texas. So it was like this full circle kind of moment, the whole thing. So I was like, okay, let me just keep going. And then I got affiliate because y'all kept showing up, said, oh, Dark streaming? Let's all hang out with Dark. And I was like, what? I'm just the guy that's over here playing random games, so I'm not alone. You're like, no. John is like, no, it's not how this works. You're getting affiliate. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So
I love doing that. I get so excited working with new streamers, getting new people started, because that's what it was. We didn't want to let it go. We didn't want to let it die. Going back to Cozy, going back to Juice, that wonderful run that we had, we didn't want it to fade out. We still wanted to stay friends with these people. So like I said, it was you, it was me, it was Dizbound and D-Crew, it was Pink Ranger Gamer. It was all these people that stood up and kept the community going. And it's still going. And it's grown so much.
Absolutely. And I think we all realized that we don't have to let it die. And that was my biggest fear, honestly, was that once I got into this community, I actually had a full circle moment again. The best thing about the Lighthouse is it's given me so many full circle moments. I originally, the first Disney community that I found that was supportive of it was Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
I got into Disney Infinity right when they released the Star Wars stuff. I was like, shoot. I bought a Kylo Ren because I wanted it for my desk, and because he looked awesome. And I just was like, well, I kind of want to see how this works in the game. And I tried to use it on my PC, it didn't work, so I just settled I went on eBay, bought a copy of Disney Infinity 3.0 and its base for dirt cheap around Christmas. And that was my Christmas present to myself. And I started playing it, and I fell in love with the game. I fell in love with the creativity. I hit Rising Star on the first toy box I submitted for a competition in that. for the Disney Hollywood Studios, I made this thing called Nightmare Phantasmic. It was a game I'd always thought in my head of how cool it would be to play as Mickey in a video game version of Phantasmic storyline. And I made it. And I just decided, heck it, I'll make it because you can make it in the game. And I did, and I got a Rising Star, shout out in the video. The video's still up somewhere on YouTube. Someone archived it, and so that's my stuff. And I was like, but right after that happened, they were like, we're gonna have all this new stuff coming to Disney 3.0, and I'm so excited. I'm like, I found a great community. It's gonna be awesome. I'm on the up and up. I have a really big idea for like a super narrative game that I want to try to make. And then they announced that they're shutting it down.
Yeah.
And suddenly Vecna's voice comes back to me, and he's saying, because everything you touch dies. Because everything you touch dies. And I'm like, what do I, like, it's just gone. And the worst part was, the game didn't just die, the community basically exploded.
Right.
Like, there was everyone that said they were there for each other, cast to the wind, they were gone. And so I'm sitting here in this community while we watch as the streams or the connections seem to be wavering, at least with the primary focal point that we had together with Cozy, and and I'm like, it's gonna happen again, isn't it? But I found that with this place, we found a group of people that said, we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let it happen. And so as I'm streaming from D23 last year, I'm at the parks, and I run into a guy who was one of my good friends from that community. I have it on the stream.
Yeah.
It's still archived. Donna was in the chat when it happened. And
I remember.
He said, full circle moment. Because I said, oh my gosh, this guy was a part of the first thing. And so now you get to see my origins.
Mm-hmm.
Of where I came from, and it was wild that he was there at the same day. Well, some people could call that fate.
It was something that we really, really did make an effort to do. We wanted to future-proof it. We would say things like, what if there was no Cozy Club? What if there was no DSA? What if there was what could we do to keep it going, and keep that community together? And shout out, because we're sitting here and we're talking about it, and who's here? It's all the same people that have been here. It's Crush, it's Sparty, it's Dunk, you know what I mean? Even Die Maker, who was my first friend in the community. I met Die Maker through Ludgate, on a YouTube live stream. Side discussion. What's up, Zuzu? The interviews are great. Good to see you, Zoo. Glad. Disney Infinity.
Ooh!
Woo! Zuzu coming in with the scares.
Just the best part was it's delayed, so I hear Janu react, and then I see him jump because I have the stream muted.
Right.
Like, what was that? Oh.
What was that? But we did. It was something that was super important to us, and like I said, the meetups. The meetups were key.
Yes.
Not just game friends, not just internet friends, but real friends. And you've been instrumental. I know D-Crew is another one. I think D-Crew's met more people than I am. But I know...
Oh, yeah.
Me, you, and Air Virgo went to Dave & Buster's, played some Mario Kart, and watched his daughter just house a claw machine.
Oh my gosh, she was disgusting.
This girl came to Dave & Buster's with a backpack, went up to the claw machine, filled the backpack, and then reached in the backpack, took out a second backpack, and then filled that, and went home double backpacks. It was insane. We did that one. We did, last year for my birthday, me, you, Guardian, and Duff went to Hard Rock in Atlantic City.
Yep.
We did that. We did Plan B Takes Over Broadway, which was me, you, Disbound D-Crew, Panda, Bo, V.
Yep.
That was huge. That was huge.
Yep.
We did the Phillies game. Me, you, Dr. Whitecat. And the Dr. Whitecat brought his fiance. I brought Duff. That was a great time. But all these, and then you've done more. Like you said, you went to Texas?
Yep. I actually went to Texas twice. One of which, the first one again, was Cliff. I love telling this story. Cliff and I were supposed to go to see the Indianapolis Colts game. the season opener
I remember
last
this.
year. And so, or 2 years ago. No, it was last year. No, 2 years ago. Yeah, because 2021. And so it was in September 2021, and we're supposed to. And that's the original plan. He then calls me up, like a few days after we started planning it, like a week or so after we started planning it. He's like, "So, what do you think about us detouring in Texas first?" And I went, "You do understand that's not anywhere close to the direction that we have to go, right?"
Right. That's not a
'Cause I'm
detour.
like, yeah, I'm like, it's not a detour. You're just going in the opposite direction first. He's like, oh, I know. And I'm like, as long as you're aware,
We're side questing.
yeah, I don't mind. Like, but I was like, because we were supposed to see Lasagna's family. He wanted to spend time with them first, and then we were gonna go up to the game. And so when we were already there, I'm going through the community, and I just had a moment where I was like, hold up. Will we be around the Austin area by any chance? And he was like, yeah, actually, that's where we have to go to meet my buddy that we have to go see after. And I thought, oh, okay. So I'm like, hey, Pink, would you like to meet up before the frickin' cozy meetup? And she was
Right.
like, sure. And I was like, okay. It was just one of those accidents. And then the second time I went to Texas last year, with Guardian after your birthday was
Right.
because Guardian was like, hey, was because of the meetup at Disney World. Guardian was like, well, I really want to spend time with Pink, and it stinks that she can't do meetups this year. He was like, hey, you want to rent a car and road trip there? And I went, sure. Like, at this point, I'm like yes man. I'm like Jim Carrey and Yes Man at this point. I'm just like,
let's go.
sure. And I was like, okay, there it is. So, but I mean, so we
took a little side quest.
Exactly. I mean, and that was like the full main quest for him and I. You were the easy one to get to. Then it was the stress of gotta get the freaking rental car.
I got an international airport where I'm at, so we're fine. How you doing, Chaka? Good to see you. Glad you're doing great. One day away from a long weekend. Chaka, we're here at the ShoreShow. Talking to DarkSpark, we're talking about meetups. Now, I know Shaka's in Pittsburgh, right? But I know Johnny and Cookie are up in Reading, right? And I know Die Maker's right there in Southern Ohio, right? So there's stuff around there. I know D-Crew loves Hershey. D-Crew's been to Hershey.
Oh, Hershey's so good. That's actually where I was supposed to meet up with D-Crew for the second time, which was last year around his birthday. And everything, like, right as I was heading out, because I'm like, I had to conserve funds, so I was like, I have to get like a after 4 p.m. like ticket or whatever. They had like an evening ticket. So I was like, right as I was about to head out, D-Crew calls me and is like, have you left yet? I'm like, no, I haven't. I'm just about to leave. He's like, okay, because one of our kids is sick, so I don't think we're gonna hang at the park. And I went, honestly, I think that's a sign.
Right.
I think that's a really good sign. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's that because it happened when it had to happen. Because if I had left earlier, I would have been like, uh-oh. Well, I'm kind of stuck now.
But it does. So much fun. So many different meetups.
To what Dunk just said. Jim Carrey's
the Yes Man
changed my life. Yep. Dude, I agree. It's just saying. At the end of the day, thinking about the concept exactly like you said of just saying, like looking at it objectively, right? And you know, with that one, when he was like, "You want to road trip it?" I was like, all right. Something, even when something about it said, I don't know if I should be doing this. Something just told me, just see where it goes.
Right.
You never really know until you see, because there's so many times in my life I said, nah, I won't do this. And then I realized I missed out on something, like where I'm like, that I really wanted to do. And it's like, well, see, it's like, just like a Nike commercial. Just do it.
Just do it. Take your shot. More than one. Valheim. Just do it.
DQ's like, what? Only I was to crash the boats. I mean, how do I steer?
How do I
Famous last
steer?
words from DK.
I was on there earlier, and Dunk was in a completely peaceful lake with like not even a ripple, and he was stuck on a sandbar, and he wasn't going anywhere. I don't even know how that ended. If it ended, did you ever get off the sandbar, Dunk?
Nothing but troubles. Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. We did.
Oh,
Okay,
we did.
so we did have victories. We did have victories.
It is those small things in life. It is those small things in life. Oh my gosh.
Wait, you destroyed the boat? That's how you got off? Oh, jeez.
Dunk finally left the bar. Not in Sims. He's still dropping the
Shore
mixers in
House. The Shore House in Sims, which just became a beer pong tournament way into the wee hours.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But that was again, that was me just trying to figure out ways. And that was Willis. This is like what I mean by how everyone in this community, all the main kind of branches of Streaming Tree people that I've met through it have affected this, because Willis was the one that did Sims. And he had the idea of, I'm going to create people from the community. I'm going to create myself and Neens. That alone was funny. Willis not knowing, A, how he looks.
Yeah.
And B, was also so adamant on making Neens look, like, perfect. And then having absolutely no clue how his own face looked. And then he also made KO. And I remember the moment that I lost it, I was laughing that whole stream. But he made KO and he made himself, and he moved them both into a town. KO went over to visit, set the stove on fire, and then ran out of the house. And I was like, this is content.
Right.
And at that point, when he stopped doing it, I kept bugging him every time when he got on. I said, when are you doing Sims again? When are you doing Sims again? And I realized once that he left our, he decided to retire from his streaming career, I was like, I sat there looking at Sims, and it was on like super sale, because it went free to play and then had a lot of sales, and I went, I can do this.
Yeah.
I'll just get it on my PlayStation, and I'll just make. So I was like, who are you gonna make? I was like, the Streaming Tree people. And I was like, well, where are you gonna put them? If you put them in a normal house, that's kind of weird. We need to put them in the Shore House, obviously.
Where else?
And it was like, there's the click, and I was like, that's it. And so honestly, that's where it came from. I was just like, okay, man, like, let's do this. If you build it, they will sim. Neen slapping Willis in the game. Oh yeah, when Willis was like, Willis completely failed, because he's like, we were like, you can make her your wife in the creative sim. He's like, no, I've wooed her before, I can woo her again.
Right.
Gets slapped, and we're all sitting there. You were saying, Willis? Like, no, it's fine. It's fine. This may or may not have been how it happened in real life at the beginning, too. And I was like, okay!
He was literally sleeping in the yard. It was awful.
It was just like, okay, buddy. Yep, and then that's when I realized, like, the thing about it, which is what we still have to do, Janu, is what I wanted. We want to do the Big Brother thing, but just, I didn't care what we did with The Sims.
Yeah.
All I cared about was the moments that we make. When I go back and watch those VODs, they are some of the best moments, because frickin' Disbound setting the grill on fire, and then Dunk having a moment with his face you and Dunk looking like, you look terrified. Dunk looks like, what have you done to my baby? As Pink is putting out the fire, she is hard side-eyeing Disbound like, you did this on purpose. And Disbound's got this look of, oh no, whatever shall I do?
Right.
I'm so sorry. And it's like, no one's buying this act, Disbound.
No, because in every clip, somebody was hard side-eyeing Disbound. That I do remember.
Yes, because every time we paused it, she's doing her creep walk hands, and usually behind poor D-Crew, and the whole thing was just...
She was doing Wednesday before Wednesday. It was like...
Right? Oh my gosh. And it was the fact that we were getting so much fun out of watching us
Yeah.
interact. And it was because in the end, it's like, if we couldn't be together, we could still find a way to be in the to find something to connect to, and that was the best part about The Sims.
We
Honestly.
talked about trivia nights at Cozy's. We talked about Juice Talks and Disney discussions. We talked about Willis and The Sims and the Shore House and The Sims, the Shore Show, all the way to Saturday Night Therapy. The community has always been the content. The community is why we stream, and a lot of our best stuff. Last year we had the Streaming Tree Holiday Special. Me, you, Disbound, D-Crew. I love that. That was amazing. And people asked me, what was it about? It was just about us and the community and the holidays. And that was like 6 or 7 hours that we did.
Yeah, because we actually had a moment too where Pink got sick and she couldn't go on her time, so we had to move some things around. It was just like, and we kept telling her in our little chat that I still have, I was like, it's cool, we got you. That's the whole point. You don't have to be like, I mucked up, I dropped the ball. No, you didn't. We got it, because Disbound was the champion of that stream, because she really went on earlier and she was like, I'm going to go outside. I'm getting my phone. We're going to walk around at the Christmas decorations. She went all in on that moment, and that's what the whole point was that it's not about... That's why we keep saying... That's why I said we're the Streaming Tree Rangers originally. Because the Power Rangers in the OG 6 of MMPR, not the White Ranger nonsense, no. But like from... red, yellow, black, blue, pink, green. They were strong individually, but together they were unstoppable. And I'm like, that was us. Is that when someone else can't go, or gets put in a freaking, gets sent to an alternate dimension, the rest of us got it.
We got it.
The rest of us got it.
And now it's growing. Like I said, the community's growing. There's so many people. Even in this last year, me and Strong talked about how many new affiliate streamers some of our friends became this year. But the community grows, and there continues to be amazing people that join it. That's the thing. It's not just a group of people from 2020 who still hang out together in a corner somewhere. This community's grown. It's flourished. We have so many new members and new streamers and new supporters. And it continues that way. And that's what I'm really proud of. We really, really have to... Not very PG-13.
Oh.
To be fair, we're all still in the corner. You're not wrong, though.
We're just in the corner together.
And I knew this was going to happen, Spark. I've officially hit the end of my stream. And we haven't even done marbles yet.
Yep, that's usually how it works, but...
Me and you have hung out plenty of times, IRL and on stream, and when we do, the chatter just never stops.
It doesn't. We're both too much.
Too
do we need
much.
If we need a part 2 next week, I'm not doing anything next Friday. If nobody else pops in,
hey, there you go. There you go. We could definitely do it. While I'm pulling up marbles, any last thoughts? What do you have going on for the stream this Saturday? I always look forward to the Saturday streams.
Yeah, so we do Saturday therapy in the Lighthouse we try to do it every Saturday. Had to push them a couple times recently, but we're back on track. Get back on the right track, in Chris Farley's words. We're back to we're doing Alan Wake 2, which is a huge deal. To kind of also answer your question, Janu, or from earlier, that we sidetracked off of, which was, that's where I knew that what I was doing. Otherwise, for the rest of that time, I was just happy to hang out with my friends. Yeah. I didn't realize the power of what I could do until I streamed Alan Wake earlier this year. January this year, I streamed Alan Wake, and it changed everything. That's when I knew what the lighthouse was what needed to be. I knew what it could be. I knew what it was already. And I said, this is mine. This is what I have to do. This is what we're going to do, is that we are going to, yep, everything changed, Shaka.
Everything changed.
Yep.
That light bulb went off.
It really, and honestly, this is what the Lighthouse's whole purpose, people were like, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to give out shit. The whole purpose of the lighthouse is to shine a light on everybody else.
Oh yeah.
I need you all to understand that. So if you come in there, that's why I always say to my regulars, shout yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to be afraid of that. You do not have to be afraid. If you need to say something in Saturday Therapy, that's what we're there for. We want you to come in and not be afraid. I'm trauma dumping and I'm killing the mood. Bro, we're all sobbing at the fact that this game is representing our depression.
Right.
Okay? Like, you're fine. Say something that you can't say anywhere else. And like I said, Pink has said stuff. Jonu has said stuff.
Oh yeah.
Strong and I connected so deeply that she's the reason I finished Alan Wake. And so that's why Dunk and Strong will always be like this with me. Because we will always be best buds forever. Because
say
hey,
all the
Singer,
things. That's
up?
what friends are for. That's what friends are for. Say all the things. The only thing that I hate is when things are left unsaid.
Yup. Let's leave
Say
no
it.
words unspoken and save regrets for the broken. A day to remember. But it's the truth. And that Dunk rated into me that day. I was playing. I actually rewatched that first Alan Wake stream, and I'm so not myself. I'm
right.
like, I don't, like, you could tell I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I need to replay this game, and I feel like this is the time. Some stuff happened in my life. I just said, I don't even remember what it was, but I just said I need to play this game now. And I'm doing it on stream. And Dunk rated in. Strong came back from, I think taking care of Lil Dunk, and in Eevee I said, what game is this? And I just said, this game is a mess for me and everything. And the more she watched, Strong was like, I have to know what happens.
Right.
And at that point, she's like, I feel the same way you do, Dark. And suddenly, I was like, I can do it. I can get through this game as hard as it is. And from that, you came in and we're like, this is awesome. Dunk's in there. We have all these people that came in. And I was like, this is what it is. This
Love you,
is what we
Strong.
do. So...
No,
there
Saturday
she
nights
is.
are
Hey,
great.
Strong. John always lets me dump my emotions on our DM. See, that's exactly it, Crush. That's the point of Alan Wake, is that we analyze the story, everything. So that's the point of what we're doing on Saturday. We've only done part 1 of Alan Wake, so if you need to check it out, I also have my short film attached to it, to that VOD. It's still up for the next few days, but I also have it archived, so it will be up permanently. Yeah, check that out, and if come on in and say what you gotta say, and because we're gonna try to have a group. I want to have a live community reacts series about that. So I need people in there with me. I want people with me when we did the first time. We're all talking, we're making jokes, we're watching the game unfold, we're having questions about the narrative, we're having a community moment live. We don't know what the heck is going to happen, but what we know is we're going to get through it together. So if it hits someone really hard, they're not alone.
Yeah.
They're not alone. And that's it. That's the whole point.
This is the content I'm here for. The content is it's about the community.
Yup. It's always, and I figured, because that's what brought us together. Alan Wake truly brought the Lighthouse together and made the strongest thread. It's why I call it the Lighthouse. A lighthouse very prevalent in the narrative of Alan Wake. So, exclamation point play for Luis's favorite game, Marbles!
Guys, this is how we finish out every Shore Show. We play one game and one game only in Marbles. Make sure you get your exclamation point play in. But this game is something special, because when we play Shore Show Marbles, the winner of Shore Show Marbles gets free Shore House swag. So we're playing for a prize here, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you get in this race, exclamation point play. One race and one race only. Maybe tonight. Oh, look at all the Luis alerts. Mr. Bun Bun Bitty Bitty. Oh, I like this one. The Amistad one.
Mr.
Let me see
Bitty
if
Man.
I can remember it. Let me see if I can remember
Mr.
what's up.
Bitty Man.
The Bitty Man, I remember. That's a sound alert, too.
Yeah, that was a Liza P stream. Mr. Bitty Man. Oh my gosh. I still have to play through Liza P. There's so much backlog, but honestly.
But the bilingual one, the Spanish one, that was the one that it's like, if friends are treasure, I'm glad to have you part of my fortune, or something like that. It was the first bilingual command I ever had. I was so proud of that phrase. And I still don't remember what it says, but it was something like that.
There it is. Luis with 100 biddies.
Bitty bitty bonbon. Somebody hit that sound alert.
Come in and no bitty better man. Hey. Flawless, Luis. Flawless.
So guys, exclamation point play. We're playing one race and one race only. The winner gets some ShoreShow swag. The Selena. The sexy Selena for the sexy Luis.
Those calves. It's those calves.
The most handsome calves I've ever seen on any human being. The man looks like a gazelle.
I mean, like Gazelle from Zootopia.
All right, guys. Last chance, get in, exclamation point play. We got 19 in here. We're playing for some Shore House swag. I'm going to hit the start, and I think we got 20 seconds after that. Yup, 20 seconds, guys. Last chance to get in, exclamation point play. Win yourself some free Shore House swag. Disney formed, yeah, because he ran like a half marathon, Luis. Those calves aren't just for looking at, right?
He's got all the imagination. All of the imagination.
The real deal. All right, so now we're going to slowly go around the toilet bowl. We got Louis, we got Leech, we got Die Maker, we got Scary Rhymes, Dr. Hunter, Sparty, Eelnat, Shaka's in there. Tripod, DarkSpark. It's not unheard of for the ShoreShow guest to win. Look at Leech's car and look at Dunk's Jeep. They're cutting each other off. Swirling around the swirlies.
Understandable, Dunk. If my house in Orlando didn't have a hot tub, I would have died at Costa Rica. I mean, bro, it was definitely on the warmer side that year for October.
They do have cars, Shaka. I have a little snowboard. That's all I have. These guys have cars. Okay, now here we go. Look at you, Spark. Round and round and round we go.
I spent hours in that hot tub. I mean, understandable. You gotta have a day, bro.
So up here, here's Kel. Spark's in there. Lo-Fi's in there. Johnny D's right behind. Oh.
Through one of the freaking holes.
Spark fell through.
Everybody gets caught up.
There goes Shaka. Shaka. Whoa. Shaka just jumped in first.
Yup.
Lo-Fi right behind.
Lo-Fi's trying to catch. Uh-oh. Lo-Fi. Lo-Fi's on the tail.
You got a fox behind you. Oh, Tripod just yeeted. Sorry, Tripod. You won last week?
Trying to get there.
Oh, this is great. Ooh.
Oh, Shaka taking the good line around all
Lo-Fi's
of the
not
bumps.
giving up. This fox is determined.
Just better hope Shaka doesn't. Shaka's got to watch out for the yeets on the push-ups.
Round and round and round she goes. Luis is catching up too. Here comes Luis.
Tim in there? Tim's in there. Oh, snap. Yeah, Dunk with the exclamation point win.
Look at him go.
Luis!
Yo!
Luis! Oh, Luis with the tail! Oh!
What in the world just happened?
No,
Everything went
Luis
crazy.
cheated!
Oh, gee.
No!
Oh my.
Luis takes yo.
Hippo power. Let me see
Keltran
those
coming
Keltran emotes in the chat.
GG's Keltran. Wild. Wild.
Oh my god.
Shaka, there it is.
He's still
There
the
it
only
is.
one that's gotten in so far. Where'd you go? Okay, Sparks in. D-Crew nails it. Lee cheated.
That's wild. That's wild. That
What
Luis
happened to
was
Strongheart?
Like, I'm gonna take control, and then yeets himself completely out of the board.
There's
The
top.
greatest pass, and then it's just like, nope. Oh my god.
Where's Strongheart? Here comes Strongheart. Jeez, congratulations, Keltran. GG's. So Keltran, DarkSpark, D-Crew, Scary Rhymes, and Strongheart finished. Everybody else, it was a yeet fest right at the end there.
Yeah, it was. My
Just
goodness.
complete chaos.
Chaos. Oh, did somebody say chaos?
Chaos?
Did somebody say chaos?
Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you, DarkSpark, for a wonderful Show. And yeah. Maybe we'll do a part 2 next week. We'll see how it goes. 'Cause
Y'all,
we still got a lot
want
to
a
talk
part
about.
2? Say it. Let them know.
Let's hear
say,
it.
If you see something, say something. That's been the new go-to in the lighthouse. Is if you see something, say something. So bring it to the shore house.
There you go. Love to see it. Love to see it.
All right, we gotta raid Lo-Fi.
We gotta raid Lo-Fi. Is Lo-Fi up?
Yeah, Lo-Fi. Yeah, Lo-Fi's going live because she's doing one of the greatest games that most people probably never heard. It's called Stray Gods.
Oh,
the
I did
RPG
see this.
musical.
This is it's a musical.
It's a musical role-playing game. Like, what?